We got more workout clips as we head to training camp. Today we're looking at Ricky Pearsall. Work on the feet, work on the footwork, work on the route running. Before we dig in, you need to click the subscribe button though, because we're going hot and heavy covering your rookies every single day. We're going hot and heavy in training camp, covering your favorite players behind the scenes every day on their workout clips from practice. You need to be in the know. Click that button, stop missing out. We're looking at Ricky Pearsall. We're going to loop this. We're going to talk about him. But watch his feet. Watch how sudden he is. Watch him put in the work. This is from Real Del Fonte Diamond, a workout specialist with these players, working on footwork and everything. But he's very sudden, very quick. That's one thing you saw over time during his development in college. And you definitely saw that during the Senior Bowl, him breaking off routes, being aggressive off the break. And one thing that the 49ers like out of their wide receivers, and honestly, it's a small sample, but you see it with Aiyuk and you see it with Deebo. They want players who are assertive mentally. They want players who are assertive at the catch point. They want players who are assertive after the catch, assertive breaking off routes. He's assertive at the catch point. Go watch some of those highlights at Florida. He's assertive breaking off the routes. Watch him during the Senior Bowl practices. Watch him during the highlights at Florida. It's in him. You're seeing it here, but it's against air, and I get it. Also, his feet glide. He's very light on his feet. So we're going to talk about the Niners first. The Niners needed a wide receiver. They wanted a wide receiver. They got two wide receivers here. They got to make decisions with contracts and stuff. They also probably want more good wide receivers in the passing league. You got a good young quarterback there. You just want to keep developed. And they're in the first round. They pulled the trigger on Ricky Pearsall, and everybody was like, we don't like this pick. We weren't expecting this pick. The market, from all the mock drafts, we're not saying this was going to happen. And then when you really think about it from a macro perspective, and you can argue it, because I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm not saying that. But really, when you look at it from the 49ers' shoes from a macro perspective, going into the draft, you had about around 20 wide receivers, day 2 grade or better. And the NFL knew that. And you're looking at what the other teams did. And they were looking at day 2 grade or better. They were lumping the wide receivers together. And they only look at like a few or a pocket of wide receivers or players at certain positions as they scout. Like they scout them all. But then they really go in depth on X amount. And they really go after the players that were fitting their schemes that fit with what they can do, because this isn't a for-long league, especially when you got players graded around the same. That is what a lot of these teams did. That's why when you look at these wide receivers and you feel, man, that's a good fit for this guy. Kind of fits well with this quarterback here. Might not be great for fantasy, but I can see how he fits into this offense. Now think about this with Ricky Pearsall here. Assertive breaking off routes, quick feet, assertive hands. Fits with what they want to do. Does that mean this is the best option for them? Potentially the best talent for them? Probably not. Probably not. There was a lot of other wide receivers on the board, and we'll probably see other wide receivers break out in second and third round, fourth round from this year's draft class. That's what happens when you got a deep class. But when they did their analysis, they wanted a wide receiver that fits with them, with what they wanted to do. That's Ricky Pearsall. And he was one of my guys coming into the draft. I just wasn't expecting him to go in the first round. I wasn't expecting him to go that high. I was expecting him to be a surprise in second. I was expecting that. A surprise higher up in the second round. Someone pulling the trigger with other wide receivers that the market liked on the board and him going ahead of them. But the thing is, with Ricky Pearsall, what I liked about him, sticky hands, smart cerebral wide receiver. For fantasy football purposes, the odds are against him, but the odds are also now for him. He's going to get more opportunities to be on the field. He's going to get more opportunities to fail or succeed. He's going to get those opportunities where a lot of those wide receivers drafted on the back end of day 2 that the market liked better aren't going to get the same opportunities. The start of his career is going to be very interesting because Brandon Aiyuk, you got Deebo Samuel, but the 49ers got to make some decisions, and they want to make sure they're good to go at the wide receiver spot. This is more of a long-term play with them, and there's other wide receivers in this draft, profile-wise, that I did like better. But the thing is, the market in fantasy football discounted him so much that he became a buy, because once you get drafted in the first round, your hit rate definitely increases because you get more opportunities. And the market sent him down to the middle of the second round of rookie drafts. That being said, you became a buy there. You became a buy middle or late, because then it's him versus later day 2 guys, day 3 guys. And now you're like, things are plucked out now. That's the thing with Ricky Pearsall. The thing is, you're not expecting him to break out instantly here due to the competition in the offense. You got Christian McCaffrey. He's going to see a good target share. The tight end's going to see a good target share. Then you got 2 good wide receivers. But it's more of a long-term play. I think he's a great NFL play for the Niners. I think he's a great NFL play, unless you're looking at opportunity costs with other positions. But in a vacuum with the wide receiver spot, I think it's a great NFL play to where he's going to help keep the chains moving. He's going to add depth to the team. And if you keep adding wide receivers, you're only going to get deeper and better. And that's probably something you should be looking at here while you're building your offense, because you got to be at least 3 deep. You got to at least be 3 deep at the wide receiver spot these days. And he's a solid route runner, good hands. So people watching this video, they're either thinking I hate him or I love him. And I am glad that I'm in the middle and I can trick you up like that, because I'm not biased at all here. But I think he's sound for the NFL. I think he's sound for the Niners for what they want to do. I think fantasy football aficionados, they're not going to like it. They're not going to like it due to how congested right now the targets look right now, because there's a lot of good weapons on this offense. That's a good thing to have. It's going to be a development. It's going to be a ramp up into that, and that's fine. But he's also a very good route runner, very assertive hands, works very hard. This team's got to make some decisions. There's a bunch of other wide receivers that were on the board. A lot of them were volatile as well. I mean, a lot of people like Troy Franklin. He fell to the 4th round for a reason. And a lot of people like some of the other wide receivers that I like too, but they went a little later in the draft for a reason. A lot of these teams just picked their guy. They just picked their guy. They had them all graded roughly around the same. They're like, well, this guy fits the best. That's who I'm rolling with. Ricky Pearsall, though. Sudden route runner. Good hands. Will gel well with this team. And be on the lookout for him. Pay attention to him. Redraft-wise, you're not thinking about him. I was mainly talking Dynasty. Right now, you're not thinking about him in redraft, maybe middle of the season, once injuries happen or if injuries happen. But Ricky Pearsall does have a lot of upside in this offense, especially in NFL terms. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.